Welcome aboard our wooden boat, Thunderchild. Last week, I ripped up all the decks and got a bunch of epoxy down so it's now watertight. But on the bow, there was still some degradation in the red cedar, so I filled it with Total Boat Thick Sew.
Babe, pass me the big scissors.
And now begins the process of fiberglassing over the entire deck. This will add structure to the boat.
All I did was I templated this side with a Sharpie. I just held it up to like the contours of the deck, and then I cut it out, and then we just flipped it over to see if that was the same on the other side, which it was. Nice job, Andrew and Melinda, making a nice symmetrical boat. Yeah, so then I just used that template for this.
It looks like a bit of a mess, but you'll see later in the episode how it all comes together. You'll eventually see all of this fiberglassed and a quick coat of paint going on some other critical parts on the boat. But most excitingly, I start working on the covering boards, something I've been waiting weeks to do. It's pretty amazing the amount of prep work needed just to be able to start laying the planks, let alone all the prep work on the wood itself that you've seen me do over the past few episodes. Now it's time to mix up more epoxy and start slathering it on everything. I did an additional 3 layers of fiberglass along the transition from the deck to that forward-facing bulkhead. But it's now time for me to help out a friend. There's a few seams that are letting in water on Dagon, my old boat, and Nathan wanted a hand delivering the boat to Nanaimo. And couldn't help myself. Here's a beautiful shot of Tally-Ho. Haley wasn't feeling too good for the past few days, but she did manage to saturate the decks with penetrating epoxy from Total Boat. And as we always seem to do, for a temporary fix, we're using deck coat just to make the decks look a little bit nicer for the wooden boat shows we're going to.
You bring the deck coat out, it's fancy fix time.
Yep.
We got a fancy fix.
Fancy fix alert. Certainly an improvement, but we will hit the rest of the decks once all of the critical spots have been taken care of, and we know that we won't run out to cover up the stuff that really needs to be covered up, like this. It's really nice knowing now that the bow section of the boat here is supremely more structural than it used to be, and it's watertight. And so it begins. This is what I've been waiting for and why I took on this job in the first place. It's time to start cutting new decks for the boat. So right now you can see I'm making a template out of door skin in order to have a nice transferable curvature to the piece of wood that I'm working on. It's a big step. I'm very excited. here is that I'm working with a straight piece of wood, but a very curved template. So I just need to suss out where I want scarves, and that the easiest way for me to determine where I want to put those is to lay the template on, and I found a spot where I can get a pretty good run from about here to here, where it curves away on this side, but it starts curving off on this side. So I want to start my scarf here. So here's a look at the first piece. You'll notice I marked where I want my scarf to start here and my scarf to start there. And I also marked that on the template so that I know where to resume for the next piece. And now what I really should do is make a door skin template of the shape of the scarf. It's going to be like a Z shape. That way all the templates or all the scarves I make from here on out are identical. As a nice little bonus, as a wrap up for the end of this episode, we have Tally Ho here. Our friend Masha is here also. And Alfie and Devlin just showed up on Life is Like Sailing aboard Northern Dancer. So we're gonna all take the evening and head off to Wakes Cove. We went there a couple weeks ago. You'll remember that episode, one of our first little getaways of the year. And before Leo and Marit head off to Mexico, I figured might as well show them one of my all-time favorite spots in the Gulf Islands. So I'm really excited for tonight. It's gonna be lovely. Now with the template largely transferred over for the first little section of wood, it's going to be time for me to start checking for bevels and angles everywhere that I can. Alright, here's my scarf template. So I can trace off of this, and every scarf I do, port and starboard, anywhere on here, will line up to be the same. So now I'll draw this on. Scarf template, set this aside. This face here, which is this here, cups under a little bit. And this stanchion that I'm cutting around also has a slight tilt aft and a slight tilt outboard. So I just got to grab a bevel gauge, write those things down, mark it down, and start cutting out. But I've been working for 2 weeks to get to the point where I can cut this wood, and today's the day, so wish me luck. From here, I opted to lean quite heavily on my Japanese rasp for truing up the surfaces that meet up together on the scarf, as well as working away material to help get some of the curvature into the wood. But no boat building is complete without an encounter with a Karen. Pardon me?
You work on your boat already.
I do, every day, all day.
We're gonna move forward.
Are you pulling out? I need you all the way back, please.
Sorry, but
back there and it's too loud.
I mean, I'm being very quiet. I'm not doing power tools today. Hope you guys don't mind hand tools.
Don't mind at all.
Okay, perfect. The last people literally left because they were like, they pulled up and they were like, are you working on your boat all day? I was like, yeah, it's only hand tools though. And they were like, oh, we're gonna leave. I was like, now I feel bad, so.
Don't worry, we're visiting.
Okay.
We're visiting friends as well, so.
Great.
You just carry on.
Will do, thank you kindly. I debated not working on the boat for the rest of the day, but I literally need to get this done so quickly. This month is going by very, very fast, and we still have to get this finished and the mizzen up. Okay, well, we've got the first covering board nicely fit. You can see over here, butts up real nice. I didn't film making the other two pieces, but here they are. I'll see about borrowing Simon's jigsaw in the next day or two to cut the rest of the concaved cuts that you can see there marked out. After a long day in the sun working away on this, I got a major sunburn, but it's time for us all to get together and head off to Wake's Cove.
Woo, tiny boat convoy.
Yeah, dude, what the heck? That thing rips.
Is that actually a two-stroke? Is that what's going on?
It's got the red strip. It's a two-stroke. She's got the special one. This was an absolutely delightful evening hanging out with some of my favorite people in one of my favorite places. Wake's Cove is stunningly beautiful. You can go back and watch our episode about it a couple weeks ago. I love it here. And in total we have Simon, Ed, Masha, Haley and myself, Alfie and Devlin, and Leo and Marin. What a lovely, lovely evening. We ended up hanging out on Masha's boat until the wee hours. I don't think I got back to Thunderchild until, I think 1 o'clock last night. But this evening is possibly the last evening that we will have Leo and Marit in the area before they end up taking off to make it all the way down to Mexico. They've got to make their August weather window. This footage is literally from a few minutes ago. Probably the last time I'll see Leo for quite a while, so I'm looking forward to crossing paths with both Leo and Marit and Tally-Ho again sometime in the future. But that's it for this episode. Again, it's a viewer-funded show, so if you felt like supporting, please feel free to jump onto the Patreon. Support of any kind is awesome.